invitation, for being a keynote speaker for this particular workshop. I also would like to express my gratitude and thanks to uh, uh, Oriental Group of Institutions, our TechHub coordinator of this particular workshop, Thakral Saab, Praveen Thakralji, and all the management person and all the faculty members who are present here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
The topic of this particular seminar is quite appropriate at this particular time, wherein the humanity itself is being threatened. The sustainability of humanity itself is being threatened. At that time, you are doing this particular workshop on sustainable technologies. This is a wonderful topic and wonderful issue as of now. Because if you think in that perspective, now you are feeling that there are certain mistakes we do, and then finally the sustainability, the whole life system suffers. So this is the most appropriate time wherein we should think about the sustainable technologies, in particular sustainable energies, wherein the life of Earth can be made more and more amicable to the humanity. As we all know that as of now, whatever carbon resources we are using or conventional fuel system we are using, that is polluting our atmosphere like anything. And the impact of the same can be felt by just looking around yourself. Fortunately, in last few months, due to this lockdown period, what we have seen that certain photographs have appeared in the media itself, wherein from Amritsar or from Jalandhar, you can see Himalayas. Even in your courtyard or in your house, you can hear the voice of your birds and all that. Greenery is looking more green. Sky is looking more blue and all that. So this is happening all due to the fact that whatever we are using, that is not sustainable as such. And that's why that has happened, and now the change has been happened because the life has stopped, and that's why that kind of change you can see. So how to maintain the sustainability of the life cycle itself, and what are the technologies which are available to sustain this world, the life beautifully, this is the key thing. And I hope this seminar and the presence of Professor Bhim Singh itself is a very significant for me and for this university itself. So I hope this webinar fulfills its motive and the key objectives are reached. Thank you very much for inviting me here.
So, thank you, sir. Thank you for your words. Hello.
Thank you.
Now, thank you for your valuable time to spare with us. Now, I request Dr. S.C. Chaubey, sir, who is the director for TechHub 3 at RGPV, to please say a few words on this occasion.
Thank you. Professor Sunil Kumar ji, Honorable Vice Chancellor, RGPV, Dr. Bhim Singh, and Mr. Praveen Thakralji from OGI, coordinator of this program. I am really happy to know that OGI is organizing one program under TechHub 3. You know that we had a large number of programs to be organized during March, April, and May, but unfortunately, because of lockdown, we could not organize these programs. But you know that one morning, while in a meeting, our Honorable Vice Chancellor suggested TechHub to organize programs like a seminar, conference, and a workshop. And since then, after I think that 30th March, we started organizing similar programs. And you know that we are getting very good response from all the institutions. Many institutions are participating. Even today, just at 10 o'clock, there was a program on communication skill, and Honorable Vice Chancellor was supposed to be present there also. But again, he will be addressing after some time. One program is also under TechHub 3, which is for the electrical engineering kind of internship. So number of programs are being organized under TechHub 3 for benefiting the students. And this is all with the blessing of the Honorable Vice Chancellor, who is taking keen interest for the students of RGPV affiliated institutions. And always we had one problem that at one time, how can we address 1.5 lakh students? But this time, after lockdown, we could get a platform where one time we can address a large number of students, and there is no time limitations. Even sometimes our institutions are organizing program at 6 p.m. in the evening, sometimes in the morning, and students are also participating. And we had a very good response while the online teaching were engaged by our accredited institutions. Our students were very happy because that they were not bound to sit there, and teachers were well prepared. Teacher had got only one job: teaching, and they had to perform because this all things being recorded, and therefore teachers were very, very sensible this time, and they prepared and they delivered. And many institutions were very much that this time they did very responsibly, that they engaged our students, and really they could deliver something. So it is a very good time for the students and teachers to get prepared for the next session, and a program where our Vice Chancellor and Professor Bhim Singh is here, and it will be very long time to listen him. I will be sitting here to listen him and all other experts from abroad. And OGI has taken a lot of pain in particularly coordinating all the experts. And I hope that our Vice Chancellor will always be blessing us to organize similar programs and motivating us. Thank you very much for all the coordinators and Honorable Vice Chancellor sir and other experts. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your words and thank you for your time. Now we are starting today's session, and before I request Dr. Bhim Singh sir, Professor at IIT Delhi and the keynote speaker to deliver the lecture on grid interfaced solar PV systems, I would like to introduce him. Dr. Bhim Singh sir has born in Bijnor in 1956, received his B Electrical from University of Roorkee and MTech and PhD from IIT Delhi. He has served various organizations as ABB Chair Professor, CEA Chair Professor, Dean Academics at IIT Delhi, etc. He is JC Bose Fellow of DST, Government of India, since December 2015. He has guided 84 PhD dissertations and 167 MTech theses. He has more than 86 sponsored and consultancy projects. He has co-authored a textbook on power quality published by John Wiley and Sons Limited in 2015. He is a fellow of many national and international agencies. He is a recipient of Khosla Research Prize, JC Bose and Bimal K. Bose Awards, Om Prakash Bhasin Award, IEEE PS Nari Hingorani Custom Power Award. He has been a general chair of many national and international conferences. He is currently expert member of Governing Council of Central Power Research Institute, Bangalore. He is also non-official independent director at NTPC Limited, and he is also serving as chairman, board of governor at Manit Bhopal. Sir, I request you to please start the session. Bhim Singh sir, please unmute yourself. I have requested to unmute you. Yes, sir.
Hey, good morning to all of you.
Good morning, sir.
And thank you very much. So thank you very much, Professor Sunil Gupta, Professor
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Very good morning.
Good morning. And especially, anyhow, I have met Professor Sunil Gupta probably, I think, less than 1 year before. Professor Chaubey, I'm looking after a decade probably, I think. And
good morning.
So it's a very long memory, probably couple of decades old. And probably maybe like SGTIS Indore. Typically and probably RJP also. I've been probably, I think, member of RDC, typically of Rajiv Gandhi Technical University and many colleges and all that of, well, I think, thank you very much for inviting me for this. I think I couldn't say no because I know probably Professor Sunil Gupta is involved in that. Okay, once they talk about university, you cannot say no for your own probably associates. Whatever capacity we have been interacting in different forum or different meeting, and especially Professor Chaubey also. Who is probably, I think they are beginning the university, I think this is under the same university, this institute or this college. Like
Yes, sir. Geoscience is in the same list.
yeah. So that's good. Like typically, anyhow, otherwise. So thank you very much. I think with that we can like start. So I like to share my probably how to share my PPT.
Sir, at the bottom of the screen, you can see share screen.
Share screen. Yes, okay.
Yes, you
So
click
now
it.
I can take.
Yes, and you can directly take it to that. Select that.
I think you are able to see it. Like I think only.
Yes, sir.
नहीं वो तो चल रहा तुम बैठ तुम तो दिख रहे लोग उससे
I think it's coming up.
Yeah, sir, it's absolutely visible.
With him. Well, so shall I start like Amin? Susma,
Yeah, sure.
how are you? Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
It's not good. Like you could have logged in yourself. Eh? Don't take the Sunil chair, okay?
Okay, sir.
Anyhow, after a long time, I'll seeing you up probably 3-4 months. I think maybe November to now, probably
Yes, sir.
6 months or something like that. Like Amin
Yes, sir.
or something like that. Well, I think we have a limited time, so I can start with probably.
Yes, sir.
The topic which I have been probably asked for is the solar PV grid interface system. Well, we have been associated, of course. I mean, we are, I can tell you, like, we are very slow, pessimistic starter in the technology. But we are little aggressive researcher. So this is one of the technology we start probably working for around like last 7 to 8 years, 8 year back, 7 to 8 years. I'm not exactly remembering the time. When people start talking a lot about solar inverter, that the solar inverter creates a lot of problems. I mean, like especially in the grid, like I mean. So we thought it why these inverters which are interfaced to the grid is creating problem. Like, and by the time couple of decades we devoted already on power quality and putting this all these such kind of inverter interface to the grid, and why they are creating problem. They are supposed to probably eliminate the problem. So it was something like we felt it's going to be something going wrong. I mean, either the design of the inverter or control of the inverter, something is wrong with that. Like, I mean, so with that only what we started looking for, why not to look into? So then we look into like, okay, this, and by the time, it was the same time that DST asked the call for SERI called Solar Energy Research Initiative. And that time I mean, one of the close friend was the Dean R&D in IIT Delhi, so he asked me to coordinate the project, and not much project were there. So he asked like I should also bet for the project. So we have gone for the project, considering the limit of 70 lakh, but chairman asked that, okay, there is no limit, but you have to deliver something. So he asked us to increase to 1 crore. So we got 1 crore. We started the journey from there. Of course, we have to convince that what we are supposed to do in that. Well, after that, we have done a lot of work. I think maybe around like probably around not less than a dozen PhD students are graduated on that. But the major concept we look into why, I mean, like this was important. Like, I mean, typically, of course, I mean, I've been involved in some commercial establishment also that we put 1 megawatt solar first on the rooftop of IIT Delhi around 6 years back, then another 1 megawatt of 3 years back. Probably cost could have come back now. I mean, and that also was a good experience, like how the industry or company are dealing on the solar grid interface. And after that, now I'm associated with as an independent director in NTPC. They are also going big way with a plan around 10 gigawatt every year. I mean, that is the plan at the moment. I mean, we are in every board meeting, we are approving probably around a 1 gigawatt plan, at least 1 gigawatt kind of the project of related to solar grid interface or solar in different parts, including the floating power plant in the Telangana somewhere about 400 megawatt or so. I mean, the concept is what we thought it, why it is a problem. So when we look into these inverter, which are really used in the solar inverter, there is some typical problems. They say that it injects the harmonics and it creates the problem that they got tripped. We lose the generation, so a lot of issues were there. Like, since working on the similar, we try to look into these inverter, and we found in these inverter, I mean, like name were different, like called Sting inverter, central inverter, I mean, micro inverter, but finally when we gone to the circuit, we found these are the same inverter which we already working for already more than 2 decades or so. Then we start looking, okay, what is the problem? Like, I mean, so with that we started, and of course now we have probably gone to almost like a top of the world. If you look into IEEE floor and put a solar PV generation, probably when look into our group have the maximum number of publications. I mean, on IEEE floor, like it might have crossed more than 600 or 700 publications, like out of probably around 2000 publications or so. I mean, like which our PhD students are working day and night. I mean, like so we have a lot of facility in the laboratory also. I mean, like at the moment. So with this, of course, I would like to go ahead with the introducing like that why we have to go. Like, of course, we started a little bit before about the wind, but that time also we were expecting that the solar will come big way. In spite that time solar was costly, wind was not so costly. So we worked a little bit on wind also, which we are still continuing in different form or otherwise with using all the rotating machine in wind generation also. And that technology also that time was probably at, and it still is going to be big way. But the only problem with the wind is that it's a very location specific, and we don't have a very good location for the wind except the coastal area. We don't have a good lake or ocean like in Europe or the North America. They have a lot of typically the lake as well as they have a lot of ocean which are very calm and cool. They can have a wind generation, but we have a very limited like in Tamil Nadu, Gujarat. I mean, only on coastal areas. Like also. So solar was in the sense why it has gone very fast growth, and at the moment MNRE already put the rate that you can get the in RESCO model 2 rupees 34 paisa. The cost of per unit of electricity by solar, and probably it is expectations in next 5 years it may go down around typically around 1 rupee around 25 paisa or something like that, which prediction are coming from North America or other part of the world. Like so it is further have to go down approximately to half, maybe in 5 to 6 years. Like also, it has a lot of issues, but the electricity is very cheap from that, and you have a many way to use it also. So one of the ways like a rooftop. You can use the solar not only like maybe either standalone system, or you can use the grid interface system. You can use in water pumping system. You can use integration into telecom. Power supplies. That's also very big segment. Around 4.5 lakh telecom tower are there, where can it reduce the consumption of the diesel. The big way of railway and metros. Almost I think every metro station in nearby Delhi, especially Delhi metros. The last link of the metro which Prime Minister have inaugurated, I think they have a 400 kilowatt on every station of Delhi metro. A one typically 500 kilowatt kind of the rooftop. Also. So it has a very big benefit. One of the major benefit is because normally in many part of the country you have many activities which run the day, and you have a lot of requirement of the electricity only in the day. We also facing similar problem in IIT. We are not able to give air conditioner to the even including the faculty around. If we talk about 7 to 8 years back, and after installing about even a first megawatt, we are able to give around 500, 600 air conditioner, and we never faced any breakdown in our distribution system in the internal IIT. Earlier, otherwise in summer it was a havoc that we are not able to work like So that has given a very relief. Before coming to your office, the electricity start generating from this rooftop of 2 megawatt now, and even it does not go to the grid. It's directly grid interface like also. So you have a lot of applications. Similarly, there are other applications. Now, of course, it's a lockdown period, but if you talk about the peak requirement is around 3 o'clock in Delhi, because that time most of the parents are in their offices. They need the air conditioning. The children are in home. They also need the air conditioning. And air conditioning is a big load in summer in a metropolitan city like Delhi. Well, now people comfort level have increased like also. So this suits to such a requirement very well, even without typically energy storage. You can, of course, because it's available in the day, so you have to use, or you have to store it. So many cases, it's standalone or many system, people start using like what call even energy storage, like maybe the battery or any other form. But this is one of the way that in the daytime, many activities are there, and the grid can be a good storage. And since grid can be a good storage, because you can use from the grid this electrical energy in any other application also. So you can put to the grid, and probably in the daytime you need more the electricity. So these are the some of the requirement and benefit or advantage which probably this solar grid rooftop can provide, like also. Well, so these are all. I mean, I can probably skip it. I mean, if some people are interested, they can look into. And of course, there are many problems also. Issues are also with that. One is the power quality issue. Like, I mean, those are the one of the major problem have been the voltage regulation problem. Because normally, if you are interfacing in the distribution system, earlier in distribution system, since you are putting a load, and distribution system is a highly resistive circuit, so voltage was going down. And the transformers are designed typically for 3-phase 433 volt, and we expect that across the load normally supposed to 415 volt like also. So there is supposed to be like around 18 volt to drop up to the load from the transformer. But now if you are injecting the power at that terminal and of the same power what you are supposed to draw, now this voltage can go 18 volt up. So in place of 415 plus 18, you can think about it may go typically like maybe a 433 plus 18, it will go probably more than 440 or even 450. So in such cases, certainly protection is also at the stake. Or I mean, if you are, and most of the solar inverters supposed to inject the power at unity power factor, because you don't want to increase the losses in the distribution system. Like, I mean, because there may be otherwise the penalty on power factor from the utility to all these solar inverters also. Like, so those are the very typical issues which you can think about. Other than the, I mean, designing the protection, because protection earlier was supposed to be only for the power consumption in distribution, but if you start flowing the power in reverse way, there was a lot of issues earlier like related to reverse power flow, but now because most of the utility have already brought the kind of the concept of what called night metering, so it means you can inject the power at any time into the grid and you can take it. Like, so virtually they are encouraging that if you have a 20%, I mean, generation from typically local generation from solar, there is some, I think, rebate in the electricity bill also, like also. So all those incentives are coming up, I mean, like to increase, and the government of India typically put already typically some kind of incentive also. So these are anyhow, when you interface the inverter to the grid, these are some of the problems in either in the grid, not only because of these inverters, but probably lot of loads in the distribution system. We have typically majority of the load are non-linear load in distribution system, which consumers are connecting, and that why those non-linear loads are there, because you get a very efficient energy conversion. I mean, look into about the lighting. We talk about the lighting, of course, earlier we were using fluorescent, but now we are using LED. So LED lighting, if you look into, it's again the solid state conversion into that, because LED lighting needs the DC supply, and you have to rectify its AC and then convert to appropriate DC voltage for different level of power, starting from probably 1 watt to 12 watt or even much higher than. I've seen the LED lighting probably maybe 300, 500 watt of high intensity light or so. So they require of different DC voltage, so you have to design the driver for all these LED drivers. But the more important is the input stage is virtually your AC to DC converter or rectifier. Like similar problem is like with your computer loads. I mean, if you talk about all the loads, like, I mean, like, or maybe even allow in place of not only lighting but fan. Now you have a BLDC fan which require again the rectification AC to DC conversion. And why we have brought this LED lighting or your BLDC fan, all such loads, because they are very efficient. Like BLDC fan consumes around 30 watt, when your conventional fan consumes around like a 50 to 60 watt, around 60 watt or so. So you want to reduce the power consumption, so you use all this solid state control, and that creates all these power quality problems in the distribution system. And under that power quality problems, if you start putting like a solar inverter, this also, its protection is also designed very sensitive, because it's a solid state inverter into that. So sometimes it trips or it does not work properly. Like, I mean, also. So those are other challenge. It also creates problem, but there are already problem in the distribution system in India. We don't follow, I mean, the regulation too strictly, or there is no regulation from the government. So people go on probably putting like a kind of pollution on the grid, similar to like what we have pollution on the environment, like also. Well, so there are some problems, so that even the solar inverter have to face it, and of course we look into those problems only. And these are some of the manufacturer I can skip probably. And you can think about like this coming up, this building integrated solar system is a part of typically called reduction of energy bill typically in your own. As we done already 2 megawatt. Of course, we have a potential up to 10 megawatt. I mean, also, so people are coming up forward to use the rooftop even of your buildings also for different locations, like of different kind of, I mean, like also. And of course, this was the probably 1 megawatt first project in India, which, I mean, that time our present Prime Minister was the probably the, that time Chief Minister of Gujarat, and it was on the canal. And you know, when you have a very positive stars, how the reporters report into the media. I mean, the most of the reporter reported that so much water will not be evaporated if you put the panel on canal. And that why the indirect saving, which was probably put into media or into the newspaper up to great extent, which when I saw the newspaper of that time. And now this kind of canal, which is supposed to be like a very bad place, people got scared because of the lot of murders are done and put into the canal. Like, I mean, typically Bhavri Devi in Rajasthan put in canal after murder because of several such kind of incidents. But if you put a solar on the rooftop of it, become like a picnic place, and people love to it. I mean, to go to closer to it and you start generating the power, and you don't lose the space, or you don't have any environmental problem. Otherwise, you save the water also. Like after, I mean, this was the very first project to conceive probably around a decade before, and after that, lot of other projects came. This was another big project of 5,000 megawatt in Gujarat. I mean, which our present Prime Minister have inaugurated it. And there's such plant even in biggest one is 6,500 megawatt in Tamil Nadu. Like, so a lot of projects are coming up which are of probably of megawatt. 5,000 megawatt means typically 5 gigawatt. So we have a project of 5 to 6 gigawatt or more than that capacity now in many places in the country, like or so. So you will find even in Rajasthan also a lot of space is there. So when you convert into the typically these all places which you are not using otherwise, or even the rooftop also you can use. So they government have put the plan for different. This was another housing of Vyas, where the lot of I mean people live in community like after their retirement, like called like many of you might have probably heard about the trust of typically in Dalbagh, Agra. So similar trust of same kind of trustee there in the Vyas. So people live large number, and this was the one of the rooftop of reasonably largest of one rooftop of 7.52 megawatt in India. So, well, with all these, of course, it was the mission initially started with the Jawaharlal Nehru mission, and it has gone big way. And the government have put the plan. I mean, these are the some of the data. But if I come to typically into a slide, which if you look into here, what government have decided to. I mean, some information you can easily get from the website of MNRE or so. So the government have put initially 175 gigawatt by renewable energy. Out of that, solar is supposed to be 100 gigawatt, which is now revised to typically from 175 to 225, and solar have been asked for 150 gigawatt by 2022. You know, by 2022 have been special because of several reasons, and one of the major reasons have been that we'll be celebrating probably the 75 years of our independence. Like, so that's probably one of the main reasons that why we put a target of typically of 150 gigawatt of solar by 2022 or so. It's going quite good way. I mean, probably I think last year in 2019 it's already crossed 40 gigawatt, and now it's going to be exponentially increased. I don't know, maybe because of Corona this may happen, but most of the projects are already on pipeline also. But the growth have been tremendously going up also. I mean, of course, we are a little bit initially all these projects are slow in to start, but once it goes like exponentially, and people realize the benefit of it. And lot of concept have come through MNRE called RESCO model, which I was talking about earlier also. You have to give your space, to spend single penny, and they will give you the electricity cost at 2 rupee 34 paisa. I mean, like typically we are paying to utility around 10 rupee 25 paisa. So you can understand around we'll be getting typically more than 9.5 rupee credit on each unit or so if you have a space on rooftop also. But of course, this is a basic concept that you have a panel, you have protection system, of course the junction box, then you have inverter, then the transformer is not mandatory, depend if you are putting distribution system, and then of course it's connected to the grid like coming. but now the power is bidirectional, so you can have a power still from coming from here when in the night you are not solar, but in the daytime power will go this way as well as go in this direction also. Well, this is about the potential what we expect, like the technocrat or economic survey have done, that we have a technical potential of 352 gigawatt, an economical potential of 210 gigawatt, and market potential of 124 gigawatt. Like at the moment, of course, Government of India have decided around 150 gigawatt. I mean, like typically from total. I mean, even it's typically on rooftop. Like I mean, but you can think about other lot of project otherwise also. So these are typically, I mean, you can think about the cost initially started from even 24 rupee. Later on, it gone to like reduction. Like at the moment, it has gone to like a 2 rupee 34 paisa. This is already the slide which I already talked about. And how did the, like we call it like a 60 solar city, then 55 city approved, and these are the project in line. And every day you'll find the different on the MNRE as well as Power Ministry site. Like I mean, lot of changes. All these data updating also like also. So these are typically, so the concept, of course, if we talk about what is your solar inverter, we call it the Sting inverter. I mean, this Sting inverter, that you have a Sting of the panel and you connect to the inverter and connect to the grid. And another is the micro inverter, that you have a separate panel, but you have a separate, typically the separate inverter and connect to the grid. I mean, also. And another is that you have typically a concept of power optimizer. Power optimizer means you are connecting like a booster with every panel separately, but inverter is one. I mean, so this concept, we call it a two-stage concept, which have come very recently. I mean, many industry, even in own installation, start putting now this concept where they were using the Sting inverter otherwise. So I have been for a couple of industry for vetting this technology of power optimizer. Even in the present installation, they can put also. Well, so this, if we talk about like a rooftop or the solar grid conversion system with connected to the grid, can be of two kinds. One is of standalone, maybe single phase, three phase. Another can be grid interface. Standalone have some limitations, that the major limitations that you must have energy storage and you cannot increase the capacity beyond a certain level except to utilize locally. But if you have a grid interface, I mean, there is no limitations of the range, and it can be either single phase or three phase. It can be like a single stage. We'll talk about the single stage, and it can be two stage. Like similarly, like a three phase can be 3 wire or 4 wire. Why I have a concept of 4 wire? We'll come back to that. In 4 wire system, I mean, we have typically concept of neutral also. So you have to supply the, I mean, either for single phase or three phase. Like I mean, so that typically, I mean, the distribution we call it like also. Well, if you have a like, you can divide into typically two category, which I told you. I mean, like typically maybe either conversion DC to DC, or you can have a DC to AC load, or standalone, or these are the some load specific requirement of this. So there is a concept of typically of microgrid, maximum power tracking in the solar PV. What is this maximum power tracking concept is? There are two kinds of maximum power tracking in the solar. The one is the mechanical maximum power tracking, that you have to, that mechanical maximum power tracking I also learned initially first, like I mean in 92 or 93, when I mean one of my students was working probably in for master and followed by PhD. Typically that in satellite their solar panel couldn't open it in INSAT 1B, and this was the less torque by stepper motor, which solar panel couldn't open it, and it was design of. So we understood that in satellite actually you have to keep your panel towards the sun, because your satellite move around the earth 24 hours, so you have to keep like, and the angle movement of this is not more than 180 degree. You have to move the panel, but that is very important because in satellite you get the total energy from only from solar panel only. So there we learn how to track this panel mechanically. Like that was the first like coming. And I've been a chairman for a committee in probably in Rajasthan Corporation Limited. I think I've gone there. So I was a mechanical engineer, and he was more inclined for this mechanical maximum power tracking. To, I mean, to convince him there is electrical maximum power tracking also. I mean, it took me half an hour, 2 years. There is electrical maximum power tracking, which is more important than mechanical maximum power tracking. So I hope you understand mechanical maximum power tracking. We are not using in many applications. We are using only very limited applications. So there may not be a very large gain putting mechanical maximum power tracker, I mean, like in rooftop. But there are many applications where we will be more keen I told you like a satellite or many moving kind of applications where the mechanical maximum power tracking is also put by either you put some kind of like a servo motor or stepper motor for that. But electrical maximum power tracking is very important, like in the sense that you see the IV characteristic, like a current versus voltage characteristic. These are the typical characteristics that it works as a current source. After that, it works as open, voltage source, and this is open circuit voltage of panel, or typically you can call it a panel or a string, like which is a combination of several cells connected in series and parallel. And well, when you multiplied the current and voltage, you get the power versus voltage. So you will find this voltage, the peak, here for different solar intensity is at not exactly at same voltage. It's varied, like, of course, in this case here, it looks like a diagram, which is approximate diagram that is look like similar, but it depends on the quality of the solar panel. This really may differ a reasonably large from even in the voltage, but the current changes over a large in that case. So you will find that we are bound to operate to force this PV panel to operate at different, because the solar intensity is not under our control, it's only by nature. But we have to operate this depending upon what is the solar intensity, we have to operate on these point of corresponding to a maximum power tracking. This is, however, it's a very simple problem of single variable optimization. Because you have to optimize either the voltage or current or this power and decide the voltage at which you have to operate it based on the power, maximum power. But you can understand that it's a continuously monitoring of maximum power and adjusting the control corresponding to this panel output, some kind of converter, which power electronics converter we use it, maybe a DC-DC converter or any other converter, depends on type of application what we are doing. But we have to force this panel to operate in that. And this may go on changing with the time to time. You might have a cloud, it may change, or you might have some kind of shadow, or you might have like typically maybe in the daytime when you are really, whether you are in the morning, lunchtime, or in the evening also. So there is a concept of what we call it like of maximum power tracking of this electronic or a typically electronic time. So you will find a lot of literature for a long time on maximum power tracking. There are plenty of technique, but of course maybe like a hill climbing and perturb and observe and incremental conductance, these have been two very popular. We'll go on using, in general we use these two, but there are a lot of, even probably I think 3-4 years back, one of my students start working on that. So he talked about a lot of intelligent algorithms, like maybe like bio-expansion algorithm, like a well optimization or PSO and colony. I told, look, why don't use it? Like, probably you're talking about all theory, but you have to use practically there. And he found very interesting, use of them, typically for practical realization also. So, well, so what is in that case, like if you talk about the grid interface, like there may be a lot of variations in the, typically, so you might have a panel, which maybe you may be storing into the battery and putting to the grid, or you may not have a battery. I told you, that's another kind of system. So battery is very costly. Not only you require a space, you require a maintenance, you require a replacement. And you lose some energy in charging and discharging also. So all those issues are there. Till it is not justified, we normally put this inverter directly to the grid, or so. So we have a lot of, typically if we don't put the, let's say, this battery, so we can put directly to the grid, also. Well, we look into typically that kind of things were already there. So we look into probably when I've gone to funding agency to really ask for money for research, it's very challenging. The technology is coming very fast, but you knew like to do it. Since we were working in the electronic power quality using this different kind of converters, starting virtually called active filter, later on we start talking about in distribution system called DStatCom and DVR and then UPQC. But the DStatCom is supposed to be the main in that. We are supposed to use the entire inverter and control for DStatCom in distribution system. Company have developed back at 90. I started working since 95. Typically, when I was in Canada first time gone, and of course for the distribution system, but it was very difficult to put into the field that DStatCom because it was very costly. But what I saw the structure of this typically of solar grid interface inverter, I found it's the same inverter, and we have a probably solar with this, but this inverter is never utilized fully in even the day, and in the night we shut down this inverter. So we thought that why not to use this inverter for 24 hours and use it this inverter or the asset which is already there part of the solar grid interface for remaining additional function or this additional features and recover at least the cost of electronics. Like earlier we were putting like a DStatCom, the complete cost separately, but now it is only the 20% cost of total installation is only the power electronics like in that. So that 20% at least we can recover from this like. So that's why the concept of modification, and we look into that, we'll not like to change any single element into hardware. We like to only modify the control so that we use this inverter for 24 hours for these additional functions like working for reactive power and compensation of typically of the local connected load and making the inverter to operate very successfully in the sense like even the grid conditions like in India what we have, if the inverter survive or this inverter works satisfactorily like in India, we are able to modify in a control that it works very well in India. It can work anywhere in the world because we have a lot of power quality problem in the grid. So if we are able to operate this inverter successfully with the Indian grid by modifying the control properly, the concept is like it will work anywhere in the world. Like so with that concept, we have gone virtually to work in that area. Like also. Well, so we look into like the different systems like a single phase, 3-phase, and we modify the control only of all these. Of course, later on we have by that time exposed to a lot of control technique which we already use for DStatCom or otherwise. Like some people call it active filter and DStatCom, but there are a lot of differences in that. So by that time, I probably finished my textbook which I was working on 20 years in 2015 January we launched it. Also, so all these algorithms we have exposed very well, already operating practically also in the system, like even for not only time domain but frequency domain and mix of that. Like so then we start looking for this, and you know that research is always. My student also got affected that they say single stage is better compared to double stage. But I told you, like in research, you have to look into typically like which is not a common, and you come out with some benefit of it. And so, yes, it is better. This uncommon. People think about most of the people think in one direction, and if you think you start looking another direction, you show some benefit, you are able to get it. Certainly, it's what we call it like really the research like, and which after working 6 to 7 years. Majority of industry now are convinced that the concept which we introduced, now they are able to start putting into their installation like also. So well, I hope most of you might be aware what is that like a single stage or double stage. This is what we call it a double stage that we are using. So after solar, we are using a solar boost converter, DC-DC boost converter. And then we are using an inverter interfacing to the grid. So we call it two-stage in the sense there are two converters, one for DC-DC converter, another for inverter to be interfaced to the grid. So this work for MPPT and this work for DC to AC conversion. Like so, these were the two functions. But we'll come back again to single stage also, that where the DC-DC converter can be avoided and inverter may be enough to put into the grid. But of course, there are some penalty. And of course, there are benefit of this two-stage system. Some benefits are there also. Now, the important is that what should be how you have to select typically the rating of the panel, solar PV array or panel like. Well, as far as power is concerned, power is decided how much is the rooftop or how much is the space or surface area have it. You decide the power level from that. But what should be the voltage level? That voltage level here in this case we preferred that open circuit voltage of this should be equal to the DC link voltage, and thus DC link voltage should be decided by the AC side voltage so that inverter operate very satisfactorily to inject the sine wave current on the grid side. So that is the criteria how we decide the voltage rating, and power of course decide the current correspond to that or so. And this boost converter is really not. You don't think, it's supposed to be like a working only for very large boosting. It is supposed to boost only that much because from open circuit voltage, when you start drawing the power from it, the voltage tries to go down. At an MPPT also, this voltage may be like 80 to 90% of the open circuit voltage. So you have to boost from like 80 to 90% voltage to 100% here to put to the grid virtually. So that's the concept like in two-stage. But we look into very interesting part, many interesting part here, that in this inverter, to reduce the losses in the inverter, there is an optimum ratio between the AC voltage of the grid as well as in DC link voltage. If you are using a two-stage, then you can probably little bit adjust the DC link voltage, not very large, but little bit in correlation with the AC voltage and reduce the losses in the inverter. We are able to reduce the losses, some losses in the inverter, around 3 to 4% losses in the inverter, and we are able to reduce the losses by operating this converter also at very high frequency to reduce the size of the inductor. Like, so whatever we are losing in, like maybe in the boost converter, probably maybe you might be having 1% losses here, but you get 4% here. The net gain typically observed around maybe 3 to 4%. You are able to get the reduction in losses, and you are able to operate this inverter very satisfactorily, even if the voltage varies of the grid of over a little wide range. Like, and you are able to reduce the losses also in the inverter. So those are the some of the findings like our student did. Like, I mean, also these are typical how the control goes. We another interestingly put another one more concept here in the control, like because we are using that kind of control earlier. I mean, we have to regulate this DC link voltage. This regulation of DC link voltage is supposed to be done by inverter. Majority people feel that the boost converter will be doing this. No, it's not a boost converter doing. Boost converter can do one task. Either you do MPPT or you regulate the output voltage. It cannot do both the tasks. So this DC link voltage have to be regulated by the inverter, and inverter indirectly knows how much power is coming at the DC link. If more power is coming, it means voltage will increase, and then it means controller will take care, and the output of PI controller we consider the amplitude of this current. It means more power I have to put to the grid. That's the basic concept we do in this case. Like, I mean, but we put it to another interesting concept, like when we are getting this amplitude of this current, we didn't took this output of the PI controller here as only that output. We took this power of solar power, which we have already with us in control, to take a component of this. So earlier, if solar is not there, we work as a StatCom, so this will be the only losses. So the controller is supposed to take care only 2 to 3% losses of this inverter, and now do 2 to 3%. If you want to evaporate to like a more than 100%, then controller certainly have a lot of burden. But you take a solar power also into account to estimate this grid current, then burden is not there, and you don't find much overshoot or undershoot in the DC link voltage when there is a wide variation in solar power from this side to this side. So that another modification we did it, but that modification, like I was a little bit aware, which I told my student, and the student also find initially to digest this concept, but they later on find like, okay, when they prove analytically or experimentally, yes, concept is true that you don't get too much, I mean, oscillations or overshoot, undershoot when certainly power fluctuate. I mean, because whatever power there, this side control, this inverter control knows yes, more power is coming, and we take care to modify this power or current on this side, grid side also. So this is about that control. Of course, in DC link we have a second harmonic that cannot be avoided. This is the nature of the single phase system. So we have to filter doing low pass filter, and which I told you to reduce the losses, that we modify the DC link in a way by with the amplitude of AC side voltage, which reduces the losses also. We take a feed forward term, which I was talking about, like to take care, and that decide the amplitude. So this we consider the loss, this we consider the disturbance, we get the amplitude, we get the phase, and decide the reference grid current, and we have a sense grid current, and we have a control here. Like, of course, MPPT decide the duty ratio of your boost converter. Like, that's about the control also. And of course, we run this entire system experimentally, and we got MPPT and different solar insolation level. These are the typical results that we are able to get the total harmonic distortion. Well, I mean, much lesser than 4 or 5% in different power variations also, and even at different voltage also. Not only the voltage of 230 or 240 or 220 volt, but 170 as well as 270 volt. Because Indian grid voltage is varying, so we have to show the performance that it works very well, even the voltage varies over a wide range. Also. And this is the, of course, when your solar insolation changes also, typically how the, I mean, current and all those are changing. Like, well, we look into later on in this, can this inverter be used for additional function which I was talking about? Yes, we thought it that we can use this inverter for 24 hours for load compensation. Load compensation in the sense you have a local load, and well, it may draw active power, reactive power, it may draw harmonics also, that also will be compensated by this inverter. And now we have to control this current virtually on this side of grid, and this will be sinusoidal. So whatever the load requirement, we call it load compensation virtually in terms of your power quality, that also taken care by this, and this work as a load compensator also along with as a solar inverter. But this function, it works for 24 hours. Even the night also we take this function, like typically, like, I mean, for load compensation, like also. Or even you can regulate the voltage also along with by generating a appropriate reactive power in addition to the load, so that this voltage in the night, it does not go very high. In the day, it does not go very low. So you can generate additional reactive power, not to compensate this load, but to regulate the voltage at the VCC all or on the grid on this point also. So we modify the control in this manner for all these, of course, MPPT, and this control we modified, like we take a load compensation also, and we are able to see that the grid current is still sine wave with a 4.3%, and this is the typically the TAD of load current which we are compensating, and that is the reason that inverter current is little distorted. Does not matter. I mean, the inverter current is now have a TAD of 7.7% because it has a fundamental current reasonably corresponding to solar power, and is supplying the harmonics of this load because load power is not so high. It's only like typically 9 kilowatt, and solar generation is typically of your 3.26 kilowatt and 2.3 kilowatt is going to the grid. Like, I mean, it's a typically you can think about around 2.5 kilowatt system for typically in single phase system. So it feeds to the power to the grid after supplying this much load as well as the losses, and this was the solar generation like also. But you can see the grid current are sinusoidal and balanced at unity. Typically unity power factor out of the phase because you are injecting the power into the grid like after meeting the loss requirement locally like also. So we are able to make it working. If load is not there, it's still feeding to the grid. There's no problem. And if load is there, you can compensate it also like. This is what I was talking about, the variable, typically operating at variable voltage 170 to 270. What we are able to do if we adjust the DC link voltage optimally, we are able to get this additional power generation. That much loss reduction we are able to do it like typically. When think about like a 2.64 to typically of 3.226, like I mean that much here at low voltage, and this of course go on reducing when you go to the very close to the rated voltage also. Rated voltage also we have some saving of around like 100 watt or something like that. Typically on the system of 2.7 or 2.8 kilowatt system. So this is reasonable saving coming up around 300 watt or something at low voltage. And we Indian grid we have certainly a problem of low voltage. Even at rated voltage save, because normally if you are putting a Indian grid system, you are deciding the DC link voltage to corresponding to maximum voltage 270 volt. 270 volt, of course, it will not differ to system. But if you really design for 270, but if you keep a constant voltage, you will have this much power generation. But if you adjust the voltage on DC link, you generate that much power, so you get additional power. Like you reduce the losses in the inverter. But this concept is possible only in two-stage system, not two single-stage system. This is what we call it single-stage system, which is normally put by the most of the industry today. I mean, like, and we couldn't get a so good publication in single-stage because it's already the technology in the field. So what is new? What we look into the two-stage system and come out with something new into that. And this also worked very well with no problem. We work out. But the penalty here is means you have to decide the component rating corresponding to open circuit voltage and utilize corresponding to maximum voltage. So there is a 15 to 20% derating of the voltage rating, derating of the devices like here. I mean, so that goes indirect penalty. Of course, you remove that, the boost converter, but indirect penalty is there in that also. And of course, it cannot work. Typically, voltage goes or partial setting is there at very low because you don't have any boost converter. So inverter also may not work, and you have to trip the inverter also if voltage of panel goes very low also. Or otherwise, you have a lot of reactive power on this side, or you are not able to maintain the current on this side, sinusoidal. I mean, like if voltage goes low of the solar panel also. So we work with this single stage system also. It worked very well without any problem. But major issues was that. But in single stage system also, we look into can we do with the single stage this additional function? Yes, we can do additional function, especially in the night. We can regulate the DC link voltage. So solar is not there. But in daytime also we can do this load compensation. This additional function we are able to do it even in single stage system also by compensating and making this current. So this inverter don't work only for solar power generation, but it works also as a DStatCom or active filter to compensate this load locally like also. And this is typically the control. We get the MPPT also, and we get here you can clearly look into that the current grid current is sinusoidal, where the load current is quite distorted like with 30% TAD. And inverter of course have a less TAD because it has a more fundamental power. I mean, like you can think about it as a typically the much higher power than what you are having of load power. Load power is 1.69 kilowatt, grid is 2.33, so total power maybe 4 kilowatt generation is there from the solar inverter here, typically 17 ampere, and you can just calculate this is 4.2 kilowatt. So we are generating 4.2 kilowatt and consuming in the load 1.69 kilowatt and putting to the grid to 2.21. And difference of course will be some losses in the system like also. So the system is able to work very well, and we are able to work with the adjustable voltage also without any problem. Okay. So same thing we extended for three-phase system also. Like this is three-phase system that we are able to put two-stage converter like a boost converter and the grid interface without any problem. It worked very well, this concept, and these are the design. Actually, the design are also not given when we brought our book of power quality, and we are able to provide the design properly, how to select the component rating, what the ratings will be there for all component also. So that was very important aspect that people or researcher or even the designer or at least the who are going to select the this, they should be at least in position to understand that how really the system works. And this is the typically the control. I mean, with the grid interface directly, and we are able to get TAT. Typically, you can think about voltage TAT is 1.8, but current TAT 1.2%. So we are able to get a current TAT much lesser than the voltage TAT in most of the cases, because it depends on the control. If you put even the voltage are distorted, but still you can maintain by proper, I mean, control the current TAT much lesser than that. That becomes quite interesting challenge, like, and different power. So it worked very well. This was here also we use the adjustable voltage of DC link, and you can just see this is with the constant DC link voltage, and this is with the adjustable DC link voltage. You can see the grid current quality, how it is improved, and the losses, how switching losses, conduction losses, especially the switching losses, turn on losses reduces. So that depends on DC link voltage. If you are reducing DC link voltage, adjusting DC link voltage on lower voltage, to reduce the switching losses also, and that aspect we found it that you are able to get, I mean, this much additional power generation by adjusting the DC link voltage in two stage. That is only possible in two stage. So we are able to get typically like a order of 400 watt in 6 kilowatt. I mean, typically around, you can think about typically around 4% or 4 to 5%, 4%. And however, in boost converter, it's only losses of 1%, which many industries showed me practically operating at boost converter at 50 kilowatts or so typically. And the losses can, of course, converter reduces further when we have in new devices like a silicon carbide or other devices also. So this is of course the again two stage, but along with that can we do load compensation also. This we are able to do load compensation here and use this inverter for 24 hours to recover the cost of electronics, not for solar but for other additional function of working as a DSTATCOM in distribution system, which reduces the losses in distribution system, and you can regulate the voltage also if you want. I mean, like not only compensating the load, but regulate the voltage at the point of common coupling, like also. Of course, this work, of course, got published in IEEE transaction. We have many patent also around a dozen patent, all those on different topology, different controls or concept also. So this is typically the control of this here, I mean, with the linear load, but I can, of course, in three-phase, we have a concept of, so you have a non-linear load, you have a supply current balance and sinusoidal, but you have a non-linear load here, and you have a solar inverter. So grid current is 3.9% TAT, where the load TAT is 28%, and inverter TAT of course 11. So inverter is not supplying only active power, but is supplying your typically harmonics also for the compensating for the load. And here you can see, you can of course remove the load of, you can have a load unbalancing. So more power start going to the grid, because some power was consumed by the load. Now that power is not consumed, it means will go to the grid by increasing the grid current. Similarly, when you have additional of load, local load, then the grid power reduces and grid current reduces. Like, but unity power factor is maintained on the grid or something like that. So that benefit, I mean, you can easily achieve. And of course, we work with the single stage system also with load compensation. It works very well. I mean, that also additional function means whatever existing system are there, you can do this only modifying control, not to add anything into that. Even in single stage also, you are able to do load compensation also. By typically the strength of the research in past few years have been the part of control of this. So we use a variety of the control in all this research, and we are able to get grid current sinusoidal, where the load current is non-sinusoidal. It feeds the load requirement as well as, I mean, this inverter, and of course maintain the unity power factor also on the grid, and TAT of the grid current is at like 1.8% also, where the load current TAT is 25.6% also. And you have a typical example of load unbalancing. You can just see that there is no load. There is a non-linear load typically on typically other phases, but you have a supply current balance sinusoidal also. So in the phase you don't have a load, you have a probably same inverter, inverter and grid current are the same. But of course here it is a compensation, so inverter current is also different than that case. So we are able to do not only the harmonic elimination, but the load, typically the load balancing also, because that kills more the losses in distribution system. And this is how the solar generation is changing. Then you have inverter current going to be changed over a wide range. So we are able to see all these aspects in experimentally also. Most of the time I am put to experimental results which are reported in most. We extended the system to 4-wire system because 4-wire system you have excessive neutral current problem also. So that problem also we have taken care by putting one additional lag here. Like okay, like because you have most of the single phase load which have a highly nonlinear, so you have a very large triple and harmonic current which you can compensate with the additional lag on this inverter also. And this neutral conductor bursting problem we are also able to take care along with this. I mean, like what we put additional features into this, like so these are, I mean, the some result. Of course, we are able to neutral current. You can see the supply neutral current is 0. Whatever neutral current is of the load, that is able to converter is able to give that neutral current also. In this case, like also. So all those features we are able to take solar generation changes also, and this we are able to work in the 2-stage also, like a 3-phase 4-wire system also. And but the heart have been of this whole system have been the control. I mean, we have a typically quite good processors like around 20 D-space, where the algorithm takes around 30 to 40 microseconds, such large complicated algorithm into that to prove the concept or to implement all these like also. So in 3-phase 4-wire system, load have a like you can say like a square wave, but you can see supply current is still sinusoidal also, and neutral current also compensated. I mean, from 4.3 it comes like less than 1 ampere or so in the total, and solar variation like. So these are typically results like, I mean, of course, some of my students are extended to multi-level also. We go to very high power like, I mean, also. I mean, so that also we work out also typically here also. So more, and then of course now some students are still working that they are working typically for the multi-level. I mean, for very large power, like when you talk about megawatt, so we have to use either the several, so you can use a separate inverter and connect them in either cascaded manner, different kind of multi-level, and then put to the grid. So that concept also, I mean, some students working and they are they work on that. I mean, for each and how to generate the sinusoidal voltage, I mean, from different units of it for multi-level like also, and reduce the switching frequency, because that's concept I say, we use the multi-level, reduce the losses in the inverter also, and if you also intensity is changing also. That is about how really it's going to change the operation for reactive power. You can generate the reactive power reference, I mean, according to your requirement, and it automatically goes from this voltage also. The another typically interesting part when we go to first stage to second stage project, which you got another project on typically microgrid about I think 3 crore. So we look into that. Synchronization is also very important, and when microgrid is there, then you have to put the battery along with the grid. But once you put the battery, I mean, you have to really look into what the battery is supposed to do with you. I mean, this is same solar inverter, but now can you think about we added the battery here, and battery we added here in this inverter with the buck boost. Why we put a buck boost? Because the DC link voltage is 400 volt, battery not necessarily 400. You can put the battery of 240 volt. Okay, so battery voltage, another benefit is that you can, because in DC link you have a second harmonic substantial which kills the battery, because battery we have like a very high capacitor, so it goes into the battery. But this buck boost converter can block the second harmonic going into it, and it can have only DC component. So you can, whenever you have a surplus power, you can put into the battery, and when you have a less power, you can take from the battery. So whatever battery energy storage system supposed to do earlier, it can do many functions. In India, it can do many interesting functions. One of function is that if grid is not there, still you can commit the load. Okay, so it works like a UPS. You can think about quite good quality of UPS. And when grid is there, you can feed the constant power to the grid. And you can think about intermittency of the solar generation, intermittency of the load can be taken care in addition to compensation of the load by this system itself. Like, so whatever the, I mean, you have to justify the cost and this converter of the battery, I mean, when you are putting into it. So one is that energy storage means you can put the, I mean, the generation effect, variation in generation effect or intermittency of the generation, and the variation of the load should not be get affected on the grid. Apart from that, when your electricity on the grid is costly, you can take power from solar as well as you can take power from the battery and sell off costly electricity to the grid at the peak demand charges after feeding your, of course, the load. So all those aspects we put it, of course, when we put like first we patented the concept, then we put a conference paper, then we put, of course, the transaction paper in this concept, like we call it a line interactive. But it was interesting to look into like a synchronization, because this is also very important part. I mean, and we use the solid state synchronization, otherwise you lose the inverter. So control have to be very precise and very smooth. I mean, and you have to keep like a all the conditions which most of you might have heard about, how to do parallel operation of the generator with the grid, or parallel operation of the transformer with the grid, or parallel operation of the transformer. But there you can think about the liberty like lamp and all that. But here you can talk in liberty. If there is some tangent, you lose this switch as well as you lose the inverter too. So control have to be very precise, like that. What we did, like apart from in addition, so another lot of modes start coming, and then we start putting the control modifying for those, like. So apart from MPPT, I mean, we are of course able to do MPPT, and we are able to do synchronization well. You can just see, I mean, we are in standard stage you can synchronize in 10 cycles, but we are able to synchronize well within 2-3 cycles. Like, I mean, typically here, like, I mean, here the grid is restored, and we are able to get after restore, but load does not see any change, whether grid was there or grid not there. But you can see the grid came here, and we connected to the grid after even a couple of cycles here. But load is not affecting because load voltage is not changed. You can see this is the yellow is the load voltage, and the green is the grid voltage. The grid came here, and the inverter have to float towards the grid. Because angle of the grid and angle of the load voltage have to be, I mean, of course, estimated, and the inverter have to float towards the grid. I mean, grid is an infinite source, you cannot change the grid. But inverter certainly you can float towards the grid, and once angle comes equal, magnitude comes equal, frequency comes equal, then you close the switch. And this is how the switch is closed without any tangent. So neither you see any tangent in the voltage across the load. You can see the load voltage, there is no tangent when you close the switch. I mean, both voltage overlap and no tangent. And there is no tangent in the grid current also. It comes in smooth manner. And of course, no effect on the load which is connected that locally. This was very important in the sense that we have to show that load is not affected. It means there is no tangent associated with this. I mean, switching on this to grid like also. We look into desynchronization also when grid disappear. Not only disappear, if the grid voltage goes below a certain level or goes above this, so you can consider grid is not there, and you can disconnect the grid, but the system is still operating very well. And you can see the load current, there is no effect, and as well as load voltage remains, I mean, yellow one remains across the load with no problem like also. And of course, battery go on changing accordingly, like, I mean, whether battery charging or discharging. So earlier it was discharging, and now it starts charging when you have a solar generation. And we look into, of course, it provides the load compensation as well as, so when it is in islanding mode, the inverter operates in voltage control mode. When it is grid connected, it operates in current control mode. Like, so both modes we are able to work successfully without any problems in that. And same thing we of course done for the 3-phase, I mean, with the battery, and then the synchronization with the grid also, and it worked very well without any problems. I mean, we have to go. So this is like you can call it islanding mode control with the voltage control, and this is the current control, like, I mean, also with proper filtering of the current and all that. So this is typically control of this, and how to synchronization. And we are of course a lot of hardware in the lab, around 70 inverter are there of 25 kV, and so you can just see how the synchronization is there. You have a supply load voltage which is not getting affected, load current is also not affected. So grid comes here, and here we synchronize, and grid current start coming here. And how the angle floats there, like, you can just see how the angle of the, because grid is typically grid comes here, and the grid angle is start floating here. Like earlier the angle was different to here, and how it comes, you close the solid switch, how the grid current start appearing. So without any tangent, I mean, in 3-phase also, like, we work out without any problem in tangent very well. Like, so this is when grid is going, when grid is coming. So you are, I mean, both the cases are there of intermediate signal of all control algorithm, because process allowed to give you intermediate signal also. Why this? Then we look into that, of course, can we generate typically part of microgrid. So you have a typically wind, you have a solar, of course you have a battery, and you may have a DG set. So you can either synchronize to the grid, or you can synchronize with the DG set, and both sides are the solid state switch. This side also, because you have a load here. Okay. So this system also, of course, my student have built a bit, and we are able to report IEEE transaction power electronics successfully without any, and of course initially filing the patent also before it also. So this is typically control, and we are able to work out very well. Like, typically, I mean, you can just see load, and then the inverter current and the grid current, like, or I mean, typically grid connected mode as well as the DG set or synchronizing mode. I mean, like, it's a synchronization. You can just see how it is synchronizing, and how it is like a suddenly gone, how it is there, but load is not affected like that. So in that case, like, so different modes, whether, and this is with the DG set, like, okay, synchronization with the DG set, that was with the grid. So you can synchronize with the DG set, or you can synchronize with the grid, like. also. So with, of course, I would like to conclude that we work out with the grid as well as with the concept of microgrid, but there are plenty of applications, like I told you, to probably like maybe telecom tower. We are putting like a solar as a part of microgrid, part of water pumping system. There are plenty of application of solar now connected to the grid in different way. I mean, like also. So, well, so with this, I think I would like to conclude. I hope. And these are, of course, some of our publications, but not all, like, I mean, because these students have put only the limited publication. But we have probably, I think, might be having like more than probably, typically, I mean, like 500 to 600 publications on this solar, like. So now any question, I will be happy to answer if you have. I hope it was okay.
Yes, sir. It's absolutely okay. So if anybody is having any doubts or any question, please raise your hand, which is there at the bottom on the screen, and we'll unmute you for asking the question.
Yeah, Monica is raising.
So Monica ma'am is raising the hand. So
yeah,
Monica ma'am, please.
Yeah.
Sir, I just want to ask what are the steps, or when we apply for a project, what are the most steps that we have to keep in the mind when we apply for a DS3 project or something like that for our college institute?
I think you are asking something very, I mean, you are saying how to get the money.
Sir,
virtually you will not
yes,
get
sir, actually.
Virtually you will not get any money because we have used all the money from last 10 years for solar. And with around like a secondary publication in IEEE Explore. Okay? So even if you get the money, you don't. Well, you have to
sir, we are referring your papers.
No, I have gone with the 60 lakh. They asked me to increase to 1 crore. Okay?
Okay.
So, I mean, the people need, I mean, people, they put already more than 100 crore on solar cell by that time. I mean, they were saying like solar cell is not really our bug in India. It's a system is there that we understand the system, improve the system. I mean, depends where you have to put the research component. So more important, you have to, I mean, typically understand where you will be putting research component. It's really reasonably a hot topic of the research in the sense if system is already functioning in the field, what new you like to do it in that?
Definitely, sir. Yes.
So first you have to think about, it's not very difficult to get the money. I'm like, I have to convert my career now maybe in 1 or 2 years. But I mean, my student gone calculating the money and all that. Okay. I mean, we touch as much as like a 46 crore project at a time. And I don't have a too much big group. My group is my student. I mean, you will not understand at the moment, probably around 70 PhD students are working. And they are the PDF, they are my colleague, okay, on different level and different time. And they are the mentor, like I mean, for younger guy. And we decide that somebody have to graduate within 3 months. Yes, he will graduate in 2 months. The entire group come for consile. Sometimes I am really very bad with the tough guy. No, he had to go without degree. All come to the rescue to request, sir, we have to give the degree in 2 months. Okay, we'll work for the guy. So that is the culture of the lab, no? Like it has built up, like, but it has built up in last 1 decade. Like, I mean, I have my colleague, but probably, I mean, those, my colleague, they are nice with me, at least to show as a group. In a sense that sometime I am not in station, so somebody have to sign the document of my student, like, okay. So they work, at least they help me out. But even if I am guiding with another guy, I'm not, I mean, I don't keep any liability on my colleague. It is my responsibility if I have agreed to guide the PhD student or really to take a project, it is my responsibility to execute this successfully. Like, I mean, and many my friends at the moment are saying, I mean, you have taken like 50 to 60 to 70 PhD students, like next 1 or 2 years, you have to really converge if you want to move from here. Can you think about graduating? I mean, it's typically a world example that you have to graduate around 25 to 30 PhD students in a year. True. Like, and I have to speed up. I have to really put my own way in a sense that I have to clear 1 PhD thesis going to be in 1 day. This you understand in the lockdown period. I mean, I have to see every day 1 paper to 5 paper, research paper every day.
Okay, sir. Okay.
I'm like, so getting a money is not very difficult, but don't repeat. 90% people I can tell you in research, they've gone repeating the work of others. Yes, repetition is required to understand, but how fast? One semester is enough when you are doing a coursework of PhD, na? Able to follow. That is enough to repeat. But after that, you have to think about something new. Otherwise, you will not survive. Able to follow. Like, if you go on repeating of work of others, you can't survive in research. Like, I say, look, one semester, maximum 2 semesters are enough to repeat. Repeat in the sense to understand what it is there. Like, okay, to come to a level. But after that, if you don't go something new, you will not survive in the research. Like, so that is important. You have to think about how you are going to use the solar. Like, this is not the only solar grid interface project. We really work out with 1 or 2 projects initially. First 1 crore, first project 2.33 crore, second project. Then we have to go on to microgrid of 4 crore project, 3 crore project, then 7.5 crore project, and then we have a solar water pumping starting project of 60 lakh, then second project of 4.5 crore. I mean, like, typically, like, I mean, and of course, the many funding agency put that you must have to have a co-PI. I have to request my colleague to, okay, please. I mean, like, if you can help it out, because why not? Because they are also very scared. I mean, my colleague at the moment are too much scared that, sir, I will convert this 70 PhD student in a couple of years. But don't worry, okay?
Thank you, thank you, sir.
I have a model here, okay? 84 are graduated, so maybe, I mean, like, probably every week one will graduate, don't worry, okay? I'm like,
Okay, sir.
so it's not very difficult to get funding. Actually, think about, this is why when solar was already getting installed in lot of in India, we started the research. I told you we are very passive starter. Passive starter, I mean, I was not at all keen at all to work on solar. But when people start talking about this string inverter, so I mean, like a micro inverter as well as this central inverter, and they put a lot of problem in the grid. India, we have a lot of problem in the grid. And I used to say, I can tell you interestingly, if we build up an algorithm which work in Indian grid situation, it will work everywhere in the world. And most of the researchers in the world, they are convinced by our logic. Are able to follow. Our system is a so nice system, you can test algorithm very robust manner. Robust, you have to build up a robust algorithm, which will work everywhere in the world. And most of the guys, I mean, across the world, they agree with us. And that's the reason they can't reject our paper. I mean, in place of one algorithm, we have to put 4 or 5 algorithms. Usually, we have to put a filtering typically on the current to filter the algorithm for filtering the voltage also, because voltage is also distorted. Voltage is also unbalanced. So first we have to filter the voltage, then we have to take a positive sequence of the voltage, then only we can use it for, of course, for signal generation for the inverter to control. And then we have to filter the current also. And my students are looking like a algorithm for biomedical signal processing, condition monitoring of the mechanical equipment. They are looking probably, I mean, like none of the area which is left, they are referring the paper like computer algorithm, all they use like, I mean, if there are 700 papers, these students are published, typically my 84 PhD student, like, of course, paper is around more than 2000 now, but I'm talking about only solar, we have around 700 publications, like. So they look into every corner of the research, like, they sometimes suggest, sometimes my mind also work. Of course, my professor used to say that after 35 years, your mind does not work. And I have seen reverse experience. Unfortunately, he's no more. Otherwise, I could have told, yes, my mind start working after 60 years. Like, okay, before it was not working. The reason being in India, we have to do a lot of donkey work up to the age of 60 work. 60. You have to move the file, you have to move the paper. After 60 years of age, you have a lot of battalion to move the paper. Nah, I know to move the paper. I have a lot of research scholar to work, donkey work, to move the paper and here and there. And they say, sir, we have a difficulty, our paper is not, a lot of my colleagues says our purchase is not done. Low, I told there is no problem of our purchase. I send every office, my 10 students, every 1 hour, 1 student will go to the same office, sir, clear the file. Whatever clerk is there, after 10 reminder, he will say they will not allow to work. And I told the student, go have a nice wish to the guy and request apologically, please, can you help us to clear our file? After 10th student, whatever kind of clerk, whatever kind of administrator is there, he had to clear our file. Because say 10 guy is coming in a day, everybody takes a 1 minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes. 2 hours are already gone by taking a wish of these guys, a battalion. Better you clear the fight. Okay? You have to understand the psychology of the people now in India and get the work out of it. Like, I can tell you, like, and I found a very interesting model in India, like, how it work, the India work, like, and I believe the population is our strength. Why my output, academic output is there? Because I have a battalion of 60 PhD students, like, my output should look like as an output of 70, 60, 70 students, like, not my alone. So it's not very difficult to get Monica funding. Funding is, lot of funding is available, like, okay. Even the last 3 call, I didn't pay funding. Even, my colleague asked, why don't really take more funding, but where I will keep equipment? We don't have a space to keep equipment. I'm like, because our electronic equipment, we have a 70 inverter of 75 kVA. We have a very ready-made kind. Student take a 3 month in simulation. Hardware takes 3 days. Implementation takes 3 to 4 days. That kind of model I have to build up now. Because we understand you cannot have a good publication without experimental result. Okay. So I have to put a model in a manner that, okay, guys simulate new ideas, he simulate in 1 month to 2 months. But the implementation in 3 days by senior student who is mentoring the younger guy. He understands the algorithm in half an hour and he's able to give an experimental result in 2-3 hours or 1 day maximum. I'm like, and people believe on experimental result if system is working well. I'm like, so that kind of model I have to work out. And what kind of mentor I have among the students. The guy is from BTech, from private college and came from, not even from MTech, from some NIT. If it is a NIT graduate, it's a very good graduate. Okay. I don't mind even if it is some government institution, 1 degree there. And the guy, can you think about like what kind of output of a 1 student can have a 1 PhD student in quarter to 4 years? The guy gone to quarter to 4 years for a PhD with the probably 50 papers on IEEE Explore. Journal paper I'm talking about, 70 conference paper. In quarter to 4 years, he has a typically 50 plus 70, how much? 120 papers in IEEE Explore. Because I put 20 students with him. So that typically work well. Yes, any other question? Like, I think.
Dr. Girish is having some question.
Sure.
Dr. Girish, I have unmuted you. Please accept the request and ask the question. Yeah, I think. Please. Dr. Girish, can you hear me? I have unmuted you. Please ask the question.
Right, sir. No problem, sir. I got the answer, sir.
You got the, okay, you got the answer. Great. Fine. Anybody else who want to ask the question, please raise the hand because we are we have another session at 1 p.m. next. Okay. Manish Pillori sir is here with us. Sir, I have unmuted you. Can please ask the question.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi. Hello.
Sir, you mentioned that typical mindset of people in India is that we are lazy initiators and aggressive researchers. So,
passive starter.
Passive starters and aggressive researchers.
Yeah.
So, I would request you to kindly throw some light on how we can motivate our students so that they can be.
We are the people of old generation. Look to the Professor Chaube or Professor Sunil. Nah, we are the people of last generation. Okay. So we don't accept the things very easily. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So your generation is totally different. Like, okay, something like that. But motivating the student is showing the carrot. Like, I have a student, who came with a 3 lakh salary and gone to like a 24 lakh salary within a 1 year. So you have to show the carrot. Many of my students probably might be around 20 students are working in the industry across the world. So till you show the added value into that, okay, you are coming with a 3 lakh import and now you will be going to probably salary of 30-35 lakh after 3 to 4 years. Everybody understands the money and Indians understand the money very well. Are able to follow, like, you have to give added value to it, like.
Right, right.
I give you my rate by 10.
Just to add to
So
my...
give a confidence that they can survive either in industry or a place where they can get good, I mean, like a salary or good, really opportunity also.
Right, right, sir.
And I told clearly, look, some paper like you have a 2-3 paper, 2-3 transaction paper, IEEE transaction paper is a PhD requirement. And if you have an additional transaction, 1 lakh salary added to it. And I prove around now 10 students, like, okay, so 11th student have to believe about it. Okay, clear now? Now his choice, he want to go again into relax mode. Relax mode in the sense he want to go in academic, like a typically I say retired life, enjoying life. That's a different issue. Okay. I mean, it is individual choice whether you want to enjoy the life or you want to really go to take some challenge. But the guy who are able to take a challenge, they're able to get a good salary, like including like a guy. I mean, I think working in probably a lot of industry. My 2 guys are working in probably in ABB, Chennai. They are getting like I think 35 now after probably 6-7 years. The guy is in Danfoss, even from probably I think from MP only. Only like he didn't have a good publication, but he has got a confidence that I can do something in industry. So person survive and work well. The another guy who just came after BTech, I mean, majority of my students, my colleagues start saying that we must motivate our own master student. And when I gave statistics to them, either many of my master students converted to PhD, either MS research or MTech student converted to PhD, or after master they did with the PhD with me. And number is not a small. Out of typically at the moment, I mean, those who are there and at the moment which have completed, it's around 40 students are with me who have been associated. Like many of my students who work with the ME or MTech in Roorkee with me, they came to do PhD in IIT Delhi with me. Even after 15 years, one guy doing PhD with me, he had been in industry for 15 years. Now he came for part-time PhD, like and did quite good work, like also, and added value. I mean, the guy who came from industry, he was IIT Bombay MTech. You know how much salary he was getting? Salary of like a typically starting the PhD around 6 lakh per annum per month. And when he finished the PhD after 5 years, you know what is the salary? It was 35 lakh. And he says, I'm going to have an interview next week. Sir, salary with your blessing about 55 lakh as a vice president of some company. Like it's a naughty guy. I mean, he got scared from me, he got scared from his wife. Okay. The Bihari guy, very classical guy. Okay. Like, it depends on added value, na? What value you added, like, but in last 10 years, I have added a lot of students from part-time from industry also. Because the major help, I mean, they know how to build up the protection, how to build up like product. So that added value. That goes to my present student to give a confidence, like also. And moreover, those who want to go to industry, they also remain in touch with them, like also. But I got a majority of students who want to retire, like retire in the sense they want to join the academic. Frankly speaking, I say okay, it was our generation. I mean, 10 years back, my BOG chairman as well as director came to ask to department, okay, what like salary you will have? Why don't convince good student to join academic? I told, look, I don't want to spoil my student. You spoiled me 25 years back, but I don't want to spoil my good student to put into academics. Okay, frankly speaking, like also. So if you show the good carrot to your student, you will get very good student. And I can tell you, it is a sweet soap. The research is also sweet soap. Yeah. And you to say, initially when you start sweet soap, you have to keep the sweets cheaper, and what you have to do? You have to put more sugar. When your soap becomes, popular, who will buy? You can increase the price of your sweets, Right. And who buy the sweets? Who are the people of our age, 50 to 60 years of age, because you have a money at that age. But you have a money at that age to buy the sweets, but you can't eat the sugar. Okay? So you need the sweets also with sugarless sweets. Right. And this is exactly I found the academic also. Initially I have to work hard to get in Roorkee, I have to write a research paper for my every ME student. Every ME student, either conference or journal. And now I can't even, I found difficult to read also. Sweet soap has grown so high. So it's again I hope you are convinced what or so, otherwise we can have a dialogue because it's a non-technical, okay, also. Got it. It's okay, I hope it you partially satisfactory answer, okay. Any other question?
So any other question, please raise the hand.
lot of people are there around. 76 are still there in yours.
Yeah.
Sir, this is Professor Chaubey. I would like to submit, sir. Sir, you had been a great academician, but equally you had been a good interaction with industries, and that is very rare. And your talk always motivates us and always forces us to do something. Even our faculty of RGP affiliated institutions and students always want to listen to you. Sir, if you can spare time even on a digital platform every month, so that you know that what the depth of knowledge, and you have been talking about the inverters and what is happening today in the states, that is really will be very useful. And our Madhya Pradesh and teacher, faculty and students wants to work in this, particularly solar. You know that all the times when I assign some job, they want to repeat, they want to go, they want to copy something which you have done, your students have done, they always want to copy. But we have just, you suggested, we have to come out from this. It can, it can be for 2 semesters, 3 semesters, but ultimately we have to do. Our PhD scholars want some kind of guidelines. So at least once or 2 months, if you can come on this digital platform to guide us for half an hour, it will be a great book. It will be a great book.
I'm not saying anybody to webinar nowadays, Professor Chaubey. I mean, like, okay, I'm open, no problem. Okay.
Yeah.
That kind of motivating lecture or technical lecture, whatever. I mean, because most of the questions have been non-technical. Okay. I understand the difference.
Another is that if you're talking about the microgrid and the grid, there is always some limitations, because we cannot always we can interface our system to the grid. Okay, grid, sometimes that main grid finds some problem that this microgrid is not functioning proper, so it can be isolated.
Yeah, that you have to consider if it does not meet the requirement of your load, that voltage variations, as well as frequency variations, then you can consider that grid is not there and you can disconnect it. So we build up the control in a manner and hardware also in the manner, it works very well with no problem.
So you are saying that our grid is also not robust. Our system is robust. Then how this grid will respond to our system?
No, what I mean, grid can't respond. Only our microgrid have to respond. Like, nah. So if we have to synchronize it, we have to float towards the grid for its voltage as well as frequency and angle. But when we connect to the grid, we have to operate in current control mode. Like, it's a concept like even your voltage is distorted, voltage is unbalanced, but we have to inject the current sinusoidal and balance. Otherwise, you will be penalized. So there have been in power quality a lot of issues. But of course, if we put a balanced current, sinusoidal current, okay, to the grid, then there is no objection from the grid, like also. But of course, the voltage should be acceptable to us, like
That's a great.
More important is the loss reduction in the distribution system. I mean, because you are not like you have your local load, putting reactive power also, harmonics also, you are putting frequent current also, locally you are generating. From you are putting active power also, so you are not generating anything from the grid. Like, okay, you are requiring only the additional reactive power, and if it is there, if you are putting a battery into it, then there is even you can avoid the total fluctuations on the grid even because of the load or because of the generation. Like, so those concepts also possible. Like, we work out all. I mean, into the, of course, our laboratory environment, and I understand the research goes 10 to 15 years much ahead than the practice. Like, so that is the reason we have been now. I have put almost every PhD student have to have a 1 patent. I will not graduate that 1 patent, of course, other than publication. The reason being that otherwise the students are hesitant to go to industry, but industry value to patent. Okay. So every student have a now patent. I mean, like, or so. That's the reason I think our 56th patent is filed now on probably 28th of May. So almost like every week we have because I have to graduate every week is a 1 patent. Like, it's so simple calculation. Nothing very special, like also. And many times I have to talk my student. Actually, Indian students need more counseling. Like, I'm looking here lecture also now. Nobody have a technical question. Most of the time it was the non-technical question. I mean, so the same thing I have to do probably 1 or 2 hours every day to my student in lockdown period. Somebody sitting in Calcutta to motivate him is not so easy. Like, also. Okay. The guy have to, we have a 6 patent in the lockdown. I mean, we have around 35 paper in IEEE Explore, typically during lockdown. I mean, like, so they are working day and night. They are forcing me to work at night, day and night, like. Okay, but they don't. Only what I have to do, they don't have, never have a complaint. They send the paper sometime in the midnight and they get the next day paper back. So they all the time get scared. Okay, we are lagging, we are lagging. So they have to get motivated. No? I mean, like, typically. So I mean, many times it's a lack of information. When I'm sitting office, so the problem is like in your university, you have to come up with this. I mean, probably there are a lot of, I mean, people want to work, but nobody there how to work and what to work. That's the main problem. People are really suffering. I feel bad about like a PhD student. He go on roaming around 3 to 4 years. He also understands this professor will not give me a degree till I complete 5 years. But that concept have to go out of the mind. If you are good, you can get a degree in 2 years. Like, I mean, like many guy, I mean, the guy, I mean, who was in energy, he suffered 6 years. I was forced by institute to take him, and I graduated the guy in 3 months. And last 1 year, he's mad over it. He says, sir, I got PhD because of you. Now that is old story, man. You do something now. Okay. I mean, many times institute put me in trouble. I mean, like 4 to 5 guys, I have to graduate in 3 to 4 months. Because they suffered 5 to 6 years because of some reason. I mean, after 3 years, there is some fight, some handicap is there. Institute is asking me, director and dean are asking me, can you are the only person to help out. Okay. Because otherwise there will be some problem of the handicap commission, this, that, and they force me virtually. And I have to certainly build up a model to pull this guy by help of other students, helping him and make to him understand, and they get a good opportunity after that. Like, so a lot of, I mean, majority of the guys are facing such problem, and you can, and I tell you to my group, frankly speaking, because I say I have a project, I need a 5 manpower for this project. Please, first you take the good student, whatever remaining are there, you give to me. Okay, I am satisfied. I will manage with them. Either they are lucky or they are unlucky. That is a different thing. Like, okay, I know how to get out of them. Like, I don't mind to take even a 4 or 5, because if I have a funding and I don't get enough manpower, enough research scholar, I say give me OBC. Okay, give me SC student. Okay, I will manage with them. So reason being, we divided the concept like I was the dean for 3 years. The number of PhD students rose in IIT Delhi from 2,000 to 3,000. Like, the graduating student also raised from 2,225 to 378. 50% increase in 3 years in a system which have worked for 60 years. Like, I mean, 60-year rotated system to, I mean, shake it is not so easy. Like, in the department also, I was the head for 2 years, and you will not believe 200 crore funding with the 200 PhD students on 40 faculty. I forced them, and now it is giving a result. I mean, the department is have touched the 45 rank in the world, not in the IIT, but in the country, not in country, in the world. Like, and this year I hope the department may go to 30 to 35 rank in the world. Like, and they say, sir, what will happen when you will go out of this system? But I can tell you, it's a very interesting experience. When I was the associate dean, there was some my academic output gone 50% more. When I became a head, it became double. When I became a dean, it becomes almost 4 times academic output. And being in administration, otherwise I have seen in Canada, my friend, he says I have to leave the deanship 1 year because academic going 0. But my academic goes on 4 times. Because a lot of things goes automatically. Now, student also understand. I mean, you have to just make you understand to think about the student. He also understand constraint, but he understand his career also. Now, you have to work out like, but I don't give a complaint to them. Okay, whatever way I have to steal my time, typically like. But the problem is that in a university of yours, you need the people to motivate. A lot of people are, I mean, they have limitations of the time. I mean, sometime nowadays, I think since inception of UPTech, I'm in RDC. And sometimes I have to put down. I will not sign till you have 2 good papers. Like, if you are not able to come to my lab, I will manage. You will not believe 4 to 5 students I have to entertain in my lab, but you have to pay fees for 1 semester, casual student. My old student who graduated 10 years, 15 years back, they are sending their student in my lab. And they are able to work graduation for 2 months or 3 months. Within 6 months, 4 or 5 months, they are able to do enough for PhD. One of my students in Kerala, he sent his student for 2 months, and he has a 2 transactions, and now 3 papers are communicated, still under there in communicated. So 5 papers of level of IEEE transaction within 2 months, Professor Chaubey is not less. Like even I have to scold my student, like who is helping him. You help him guy, he published 5 papers in 2 months, and in 2 years you are not able to find 5 papers. What is wrong? I mean, with you. So it goes motivation to internal student also, no? So it works like. So that kind of MO you can think about, like some of the institute who has a good facility, and good individuals also. I mean, like, so, I mean, university like you, lot of faculties with you, they are probably very helpful. I mean, like also. But networking is very important. I consider earlier I was not believing, but now I start believing. Like if the people interact with, it comes something out. Like because a lot of things are apprehension. I mean, like language apprehension. Like I mean, lot of apprehension is there. So if that goes out, it works really. I mean, I was talking last time. I think last visit, probably when I came to convocation of a minute, I interacted with Professor Sunil. So I was talking about like, okay, you can think about some research center where a lot of faculty of your institutions around may be very keen. Okay, probably so I can think about like a little bit mentoring in the sense that because the guy comes with very shy face, no, like we are able to come, we are not able to come, like but a lot of scope is there. Another is the startup. I mean, like a lot of students, my students are coming up now with the startup also. Like so that's another like anyhow we are very big and my doctor almost forced me. You have done all the things, but this is don't worry. Before going, I will do that also. Okay. But now after Whitehair, industry start believing on us. You know, earlier they were not believing. Maybe now they will believe more. They will believe more because it's a China. And now you want to shut down from the China, so they will come forward like. But students have a lot of strength. I mean, only important is that you have to say, don't waste your time. Because time is a value. So nice to see you after a long time, more than
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
When I will make a next visit, certainly we'd like to have a chat like
sir, I tried to invite you last time, but you know that because of your so busy schedule, you could not manage to visit RGPV. In one of the RGC, I invited you.
Oh no, not a busy. Nepal is a very typical city. And sitting in MNIT, I mean, people expectations are something different. So I have a lot of friends in Bhopal. I mean, a lot of students are there, a lot of friends are there. I mean, like I've been in Roorkee, so that legacy is there. Many people of that time retired, but many are still there in the system. No? Maybe younger generation don't know. I mean, like. Also.
But I can tell you, sir, the faculty of affiliated institutions and UIT, everybody has a lot of respect for you, and everybody wants to meet you. Everybody, you know that whenever we organize any conference, just say that Professor Bhim Singh is coming. Everybody gets a call that I will be attending. I will be attending.
So the nice way that I can come and deliver one seminar, maybe in your university, that may be a good introduction.
Sure.
Because that probably that may help us. They listen up, they come out with their problem. Many hesitant people come out. Many are. I mean, now also I think somebody was interested in question. When he listened already some discussion, probably he raised. I have already got answer, kind of things. Because same kind of questions people might have, like kind of things like. But there is a lot of scope in engineering research. Like I mean, I believe like I mean, our people are suffering because of little hesitation, nothing else like also. And virtually faculty also needs them. I mean, mentorship like not only the student, but faculty also needs like. The reason is faculty have to, you know, my 75% time goes only mentoring. I mean, the student is able to do work. I mean, a guy sitting in Calcutta in last 2 months, he's in second semester, he's able to send 2-3 papers in conferences. And even send a disclosure for patent. I'm just talking on phone only. What you can do, man? I mean, like how you can put the technology, like I mean, and starting very simple technology, like I mean, couple of guys. I asked my one student to work only e-rickshaw charger, and now you can say one student, she is already graduate and she is in PDF. Second is, I think I don't know, somewhere in MP. I mean, वो दहेज वाला ही है आपका SGTIS से ना. You cannot say no. दहेज वाला ही बोलता हूँ. Wherever your students are sitting and they recommend, you can't say no, na. There are lot of students from MP because my lot of students are there, so they don't sending me. But और कुछ नहीं करेंगे तो 2-4 कहता रहा हूँ तुम्हारा जिन्हें भेजा तुम्हें उन्हें गाली जरूर दूंगा जम के. So why got scared? in general, they work very well. Like, there's no
Yeah.
problem. Like because they have some time personal problem, but they come out like that. So I have a lot of students from MP. I think maybe around probably maybe out of 15 to 20 students out of 70 are from MP now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye.
Sir, the formal ending of the session. So
Okay.
if anybody is having any more questions, they can send me the queries and we'll definitely forward it to the Dr. Bhim Singh sir and Dr. S.C. Chaubey sir for further clarifications. And before we wind up, I request Manju ma'am to give an official vote of thanks. Manju ma'am. Please go ahead.
On the behalf of the Oriental Group of Institute, myself, Professor Manju Gupta, Faculty, Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Oriental Institute of Science and Technology, I extend my thanks to Professor Bhim Singh from IIT Delhi. I am thankful by heart that they have accepted
Ma'am,
our request.
नहीं आ रहा है, आवाज नहीं आ रहा है आपको, आप करो।
Sir, myself, Professor Manju Gupta from Oriental Group of Institute, Bhopal, extend my hearty thanks that you have accepted our invitation to deliver expert lecture in our college. I am thankful to the RGPB that they have approved that proposal for TechUp to conduct in the Oriental Group, and that is a very new topic which I have think for. Dr. Bhim Singh, I know you from very long time from Mumbai. I have seen you there, so you have motivated me to work in the field of smart grid. That's why I have chosen this topic. So I am thankful by heart. My department, my faculty members, my HOD, all are very hearty thankful to you, and hope in future we will meet again with the new topics. Sir, thank you. Sir, thank you, and all participants. For my side, we have opted all the experts from IIT and the NITs, and I hope you will enjoy all the sessions. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Professor Chaubey. Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam. Okay.
Okay, so we'll join again at 1 p.m. with the session of Dr. R.S. Thare sir. And thank you. We can have lunch for half an hour. Thank you, sir.